Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be taking a look at some breakout concepts, and I'm going to be talking about breakouts because I really like them and I've been kind of studying them lately, and I wanted to talk about my thoughts. So stay tuned. Today we're going to be talking all about breakouts, some ways to trade them, and some concepts that I am currently looking at myself. So stay tuned. Let's get into it right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Nick. I talk all about trading, investing, and all that stuff here on the channel. So if you are new here, make sure to subscribe so they can get more content in the future. It's all free, so why not? I was looking at the chart here for gold. This is XAU USD. I'm looking at it on the daily chart, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about the concept of a breakout. Now, if you don't know what a breakout is, if you're super basic, and if you're even experienced, I still like going back and looking at the basics because I feel like it's just good practice. So when we're talking about a breakout, all a breakout really is a price, is moving somewhere, and then all of a sudden we get something like this. This is a breakout, cookie cutter, plain and simple, what a breakout looks like. So a breakout is basically where you have price moving, you have basically resistance, right, where sellers are holding an area, and then all of a sudden price breaks higher, and then bam, we get the long side and price keeps going. So this is the concept of a breakout, and I heard a phrase that I'm not exactly sure who I heard it from first, but the phrase was basically that every great trend starts with a breakout. So every big move in the market technically starts with a breakout. And so how can we use that? Well, if we know that some of the biggest moves in the market, well, actually all of the biggest moves in the market, such as the one we're looking at here on gold, start with some sort of significant breakout, maybe we can hone in on these and take a look and see if there's opportunities for us to potentially catch some of the market's moves through these basic concepts. So again, all a breakout is looking for a significant level of support or resistance to break, maybe in favor of a trend, maybe in favor of a counter trend. We can talk a little bit about that too. And we're looking for the market to continue. So typically when people talk about trading breakouts, what we're looking to do is if we have something like this and the market breaks out, we are looking to join this move. Basically, we see that in this case, we have a battle at this level, right? We have buyers who want to buy this thing, and we have sellers who also want to sell at this resistance point, and they're fighting right around here. Well, when this happens, when we get the break above that key level, what that tells us is that buyers, for the time being, have taken over this market. They basically conquered the sellers who were at this area and likely will drive price higher as the bulls kind of take over, right? So it's kind of like when, I always use the concept of a castle because I don't know, it makes sense to me. It's kind of like, or actually another one that's good is a battle line where basically, let's say that you have two lines of an army, two different armies facing each other. Well, a lot of times there's just back and forth, right? They're just battling each other back and forth. But then all of a sudden, things might shift directions. And what we might actually have now is we have this kind of give back where part of the line, I know this is an interesting example, but part of the line becomes broken, right? And so what happens is, well, this army is really pushing it and they're starting to win in a certain area. And what tends to happen? Well, they keep going and then until the other army retreats, right? I know, kind of a interesting concept. I didn't, expect to be talking battlegrounds today, but it is what it is. We go with what we have. So that's my way of seeing it. Another way that I like to think of it, I like to use visuals or examples, if that makes sense, just to help me, solve something. So let's say that sellers own a castle, right? And this is their castle, right? And there's sellers in here. Okay, so sellers hold this current castle, we'll call it sell castle, and then all of a sudden the buyers are basically coming in and they're invading to see if they can take over the castle. Well, if they take over the castle and they get rid of the sellers, then they take it over, and what are they going to do now? They're going to defend it as best they can, and that's what we're seeing here when we get one of these concepts. We see the break, and buyers are going to do their absolute best to keep this price above that line of defense where they basically just took back the castle, if you will. Again, some analogies for you. I know some of them might be a little bit confusing. I like the second one a little bit better, but we'll try other ideas anyways. So with that said, when we're taking a look here at gold, you can clearly see that the buyers have taken over this castle for sure. In the last several months, even few years, we've had nothing but really good bullish moves on gold. So I wanted to talk today about breakouts and how we could potentially spot some of these moves and even join them. So typically we can kind of do the same concept we were just doing in that little example by highlighting some key levels of support and resistance. Now remember, every great trend starts with a breakout. It has to. In order for a market to move up strongly, it has to break all previous resistances, or at least local resistances, in order to trend in that direction. So as we come up to this key level of resistance, we're looking to see, hey, can buyers get above and close above this key level? Notably, you can see that right here, we actually had what you call a false breakout. And this is where breakout trading gets tough, right? Because you have people who are trying to buy this and then it fails and it goes back the other way, and oh, that's so sad. And if you're a breakout trader, you're upset about it. And that's the tough side about being a breakout trader in general. You deal with these situations where you get long and the market just goes back, or you get short and the market just goes back, and you're left holding the bag, if you will. And so when we're looking at these trades, that is going to be the reality of all breakout trading. People ask me sometimes on the channel, they say, Nick, well, how do we avoid false breakouts? Well, the answer is there's no 100% answer to that. There's no easy solution to, oh, well, this is how you spot one that won't be a false breakout. There are some things, however, that you can look for in your trade and look to do so that you find more likely scenarios where the market could go in the other direction. So for example, what that might mean to me would be, okay, we have this strong trend. We are above the 200-day moving average. We do have this significant resistance, and check this out. I like how price closes right here above that previous resistance. Notice how this time we weren't able to close above this recent level of resistance. In fact, we wicked up there, but before the end of the close, we were back in the range here. So this would be not yet ready in my view, but when we see this, when we see the close above, of course I know I'm speaking in hindsight. I can see what happens in the price, but this is still generally how I'm looking for breakout trade setups. So I'm looking to see, hey, show me some signs that this market really has the strength to get us out of this range right here, right? Prices back and forth. Well, right here, that's the first signal that we got where price really cleanly broke above. And not only that, check this out. I like this concept too. So if we zoom in here just a little bit more, you can actually see that we closed above right here. And then what do? We came back and retested the exact same spot. Now remember, my cheesy example of a castle is exactly right here. The bulls who took over this market are going to do everything in their power to defend their recently conquered new land or new castle. That is the retest right here. And sometimes people really, really like to trade the retest. So price breaks above and then they wait for the pullback. They get in and they look to go long. So that's that concept that I really love the idea of. I've talked about break and retest strategies on my channel before, and actually a couple times, because I love that concept a lot. But today I'm talking about the breaks that are kind of like they break and they just don't stop going, such as this one on gold. Check this out. We can repeat the process and we can see that here we've got some resistance. We've got kind of a consolidation zone sideways where all of a sudden price breaks. Not only does it break and close strongly above, it kept going. And this one had no signs of a pullback. We didn't see any retest. Buyers just took straight up control and kept pushing price higher. So how can we possibly trade this? Well, the best way for me, I like to trade this is, again, I like to, step one, identify support or resistance. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is highlight or signal where exactly the most powerful recent levels of support and resistance are. Two, I'm going to be looking for a close outside. Okay, it may be above, it may be below. So we'll do above or below that significant support or resistance. If it's breaking above, I'm probably looking to go long, right, with the move. And if it's breaking below, maybe I'm looking to go short. Now, this brings up an interesting topic because sometimes people will say, well, do you want to trade with the trend or counter trend? You can do both, but the one that I've been experimenting with mostly lately is with the trend. Okay, so what I mean by that is I'm looking for breakouts that are already in a momentum upside or downside market. So that means I'm looking to buy as the market is going up, looking for the key break, and I'm looking to sell or short into a market that is falling lower on a longer term chart. So how can I do that? Well, I've got a couple different favorite ways. I like the 200-day moving average. This has been one of my favorite indicators of all time. If you've watched my channel, you've probably heard me rant about this a couple different times, but I like the 200-day for giving me a general sense of direction of the long-term charts, okay? So this is the daily chart. You can see nothing but up here on the gold chart. And so as we go higher, I'm interested in looking for buying opportunities. Maybe not right now because price is incredibly, incredibly strong to the upside right now and very well could keep going, but I'd rather wait for some sort of consolidation period before looking for the break again. So that is my opinion there with the breaks here on gold. Gold happens to be one of my favorite charts to trade breakouts with right now, just because we've had such clean price action, such great moves to the upside. I've been exclusively long back since we crossed above the 200-day moving average, which this candidate has been one of my top charts for trading trends or trading breakout continuations. So of course that may change. We may get gold entering into a sideways market or reversing back the other way, but for now it's been pretty solid to the upside. So that is my thoughts there. But this is generally my approach to looking for breaks. I keep it as simple as I possibly can. It doesn't have to be super complex. People are all out there, you know, selling these super advanced topics or strategies, but really some of the breakout concepts are best just left very simple in my view. So looking for breaks, looking for significant, you know, signs of continuation to the upside or downside with a trend, all that sort of good stuff, basic technical stuff that actually can work pretty well for looking for those top breakouts. So that's all I've got for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you want more trading tips, do me a favor, make sure to subscribe to this channel, follow me on my trading journey, and hopefully I share some wisdom or some learned lessons that I have paid for in the market myself. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back in the next video.